video, I'm going to briefly describe what you're going to learn and how you're going to go about learning it. You're going to learn prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is, think about it as AI literacy. How do you effectively communicate with any AI system? You have the instructions here, and that's the application here. So if you don't already have these, pause the video and go ahead and grab those. So here's the instructions, but I wanted to focus on this area right here because this is everything you need to know. Everything else gives you context. You have the six components of a prompt. So at the end of building a prompt, you should have your task, role, context, format, example, and instructions. And I like to put instructions first. So you can flip this around and make instructions first. Let me show you what it looks like. If you look in here, I just say AI instructions. It's a little bit longer, but AI will understand that they're instructions. So you have instructions, task, context, role, and format. Now, the instruction here is do not produce the email, provide only prompt feedback. So what I can do is I can also say focus focus on advice to improve the task. So now I click run and it's running here. And when it turns green, that's when it's done. Sometimes it takes longer than others because of how long AI has to think. So I come down here and it says, okay, task specificity. It can tell me, go ahead and elaborate on update. Context. I can come into here and say role enhancement. For instance, expand on student role. So I can come up here and say, as a student role, it actually drifted from task, but that's fine. I can say I am a new student in computer science, and I am worried about my progress. So that's a way of going through, again, this process. I prompted it. The output said, expand on your role. And then I went ahead and I can try again. Why did it happen that it said, expand on your role? Because I said, give me some advice. Sometimes AI doesn't quite listen and follow instructions. And that's part what prompt engineering is all about. I could outline this more so it doesn't drift into saying role and format. It seemed to have said, okay, you've got all these parts, I'm still going to do that. That's just prompt engineering. AI sometimes does that drift. And so that's your output. When you want to start this information here with the user, it's just to track. So if you wanted to put in, your email, it's just to track your progress so you can come back. You want to start the exercise. I've already completed with this email, so I can just put in anything. So you can go through this multiple times. It'll tell you the exercise here. It's going to start with task. So you go through here, but at the end, you don't want to give advice. You actually want the email. So I have that, do not produce the email, produce the email. So here's an important aspect. If I just change this to say produce the email and I run this, you can go through and say, I changed that prompt. The output's going to be an email. Why did this happen? Because I said produce the email, no formatting. And you learn this way through this prompt. One or two sentences can so fundamentally change your output that you come back here and it's completed. And now at the end, it's just going to give you the email. Now, this is a very short email, so it threw me a little bit, but it has from, to, subject, status, blockers, work completed, remaining work. So this is exactly what I want to send. I have to QC this, but it's a very short email. What I could do is say, give me, 5 sentences in all the different areas to be able to actually make it a little bit longer. But that's something where you can say, I can format, I can say, it says have all four, then I can say something like put 5 bullet points in every section. So I'm adding just this one piece of text. Let's see what happens. And if it listens correctly, 5, 5, 5. And then finally, I can say, the format. I can also say bullet points should look like this. Dash, point, sorry, dash item 1. So now I've just made this change. I come back here, and you're going to see those dashes in there if AI listens and does it. It's not always perfect about what it does. So I can come down here, and it puts those dashes in. So keep in mind what we're doing is we're just going through these steps for these 6 items. You'll notice that I changed the prompt and I said, put these little dashes, as the structure of the bullet points. The output was it actually made those changes. Why did this happen? Because I put those in if we come up over here, I put that in the format area. So why did that happen? And that's the key question. I added one sentence that fundamentally changed those items. What you learn is you can change the way AI outputs sometimes with just one sentence. And then trying again means, hey, maybe I want to go back in and say, put it in as bullet points as little circles. But you also notice again, coming back here, the difference between instructions of give me feedback versus give me the email. You're going to get a bunch of suggestions on how to prove it by saying, help me improve this, versus when you say, give me the email, there's that email. So in the highest level, prompt engineering is the literacy of AI, but understanding you have control, and sometimes very strong control, over what's coming out of AI. So again, this is the methodology that you're going to learn by doing. And then finally, if you want to repeat the exercise, this doesn't check for, if you need to go through it again, just put another email in there. So you can go through this infinite number of times.